CosmicRadio.TV. Look, nothing comes free in this world, so special thanks goes out to our patrons. Join their ranks and show your support for independent content at patreon.com/retrofuntime.
I just can't seem to grow up.
Brandt Hughes, it's time you learned. Now, we're about to do something a bit special. We're about to do something a bit different.
Okay.
You have never played The Legend of Zelda.
Not even once.
When we talk about classic games and we talk about certain series of stuff, Legend of Zelda is one of those quintessential games in terms of history of not only Nintendo, but in terms of IP and stuff like that. And from what I understand, you've not played any of the Zelda games.
No, I mean, the most that I've ever played of any of the Zelda games, I think in either 4th or 5th grade, I had a friend, Ryan, who had one of them, and I just remember I was over at his house once, and I think there was fishing. And that's about it.
As a note, I am not going to say anything. I maybe put a voice of context.
You're just gonna leave the room right now.
I may be a voice of context. I may be a voice of sort of explaining things, but I am not going to give you any help.
Sure.
I am not going to give you anything. I am just going to show you The Legend of Zelda.
Boing.
He didn't even let the... Okay. All right, well, you got to register your name. Put whatever name you want.
Okay.
Some people put their real name there. L. Okay. Blank.
Blank.
Okay.
It's like a link, but different. There we go.
All right. You have 3 files to pick from now.
All right. Well, I mean, blank, right?
All right.
Ooh. Oh, right. D-pad.
Yes.
D-pad. All right. Can't attack. I don't have any attacks.
Oh, yeah. You're just all the stuff here.
I don't want to go in that cave. That looks dangerous.
Oh,
I'll go straight up.
sure.
That's the widest path.
Oh, no, enemies.
Ah.
What are you doing? Oh, no, they're hitting you. You're already getting hit. All you have is a shield and nothing but your wits.
This game is brutal.
Already. Hyrule's a harsh world.
This is like Dark Souls.
Hyrule is very harsh. I mean, you're... So, traditionally in a lot of Nintendo games, a lot of the story for it wouldn't be put in the beginning of the game just because there's just not enough room. And a lot of this would have been in the manual explaining it. But essentially, you're in the land of Hyrule. You, of course, are Link, the hero, and you're tasked to rescue Princess Zelda from the evil Ganon.
Oh, maybe I should have gotten the cave early on.
To go alone.
Ugh.
Take this.
Thank you, Sensei.
Go. There you go.
Now we're...
Now you have a wooden
Now we're
sword.
cooking.
All right.
Can I... Come on. Give me coins.
So, of course, the music was made by the ever-famous Nintendo composer, Mr. Koji Kondo, who got his career started on the Nintendo, at least, with Super Mario Brothers. You're just getting rinsed by these Octorocks, I think they're called.
Boiled. I just destroyed those guys.
You're almost...
Oh, did I just deflect that?
Yeah, you have a shield.
That was awesome.
So if you notice...
Caves are good things.
Yeah.
So it seems.
Caves seem like they have something in them. Things are in caves.
Buy something. I don't have any of those things.
You don't have any of those things. You don't even have the monies to pay for those things.
No. Later, sucker. Can I jump in there and steal those things like GTA?
No.
GTA Zelda.
That wouldn't be allowed until, I think... Oh,
God.
that thing's going to eat you. You can't get it from the water.
That looks like a dock.
You wouldn't be able to steal things until...
Destroyed.
Game over.
Oh, that was fun. All right. Good feature.
Don't go to the virtual console. Here you go.
All right.
Well, you're not getting out of this.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Look what happens when you have full power.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that helpful?
Wow, that's tremendous.
Yes, the classic kind of bolt action. I forgot what the reason why that was in the lore. I could, of course, right now go bust out the my friend Mario gave me for a birthday gift, or Christmas gift, birthday gift kind of thing. The sort of giant Zelda encyclopedia book that sort of has not only the official timeline, at least up until the last game that came out, which should have been whatever was, not for the Wii U, but the last Wii game. And I guess it has everything. It was missing a link between worlds. That's what it's missing. Which is sort of in the Link to the Past storyline, really. If it's in any of the timelines, it's in that timeline. I think
they're blue.
Yeah, Octoroks come in 2 varieties.
Yes. Hey. How you doing?
She's not having anything.
Lame.
So, what are you so far? What are your initial thoughts on Zelda as you explore the world of Hyrule?
So it's tough to imagine this in the context in which it was originally experienced. Right. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, now we're talking. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's pretty basic in retrospect, but look, I don't have that many coins.
Well, then I guess you have to wait. You have to earn them.
Yeah. Get wrecked.
I forgot what the name of those enemies are. It's like right now I'm going through my head of like Zelda enemies. Oh, those things are coming from the ground. That's not happy. Oh, well, I guess they're gone now. They don't want to bug you anymore. They're not gonna hurt you any. Oh, well, maybe they are. Oh, those things become live. Maybe next time you'll think about touching a statue again.
Yeah, I guess a lesson learned.
Yeah.
It's nice that it seems like stuff carries over after I die.
Yeah.
So that even though it's a little bit unforgiving in just how little life I have right now, and like,
but you're just starting out,
and sometimes like how difficult it is to actually hit the enemies because of outdated mechanics and stuff. But it's not too bad. But yeah, the carryover is nice.
But again, you're just starting out. Like you're this is like you've not even touched any of the content. You're barely exploring Hyrule.
Yeah.
Like if we were to show a map right now, which we'll put that in post, the actual map of Hyrule there. It's a giant land. It's definitely got a lot of variety in terms of a Nintendo game. Like when this came out, this was not the biggest game because ultimately, historically, when this game came out in Japan, like you can't get those. They're stuck in the things. Oh. Man, only there's a way to get them. Oh, what's that? What's that clock do? Oh, look.
Am I invincible?
Yeah. Look at that. You pause time.
Ah. Is that what that means?
But yeah, when this game came out in Japan, it was called the Hyrule Fantasy, and I've talked about this in my in a previous video for a retro fun time. But ultimately, it came out, and it was never thought of as this is going to be the thing that's going to be the big stuff. Like it came out with this. Basically a Famicom Disk System came out with this game, a Mahjong game, and Super Mario Bros. 2, or more better known as the Lost Levels, and a couple other things as well. But this game sold like crazy, to the point that a year later they'd make the sequel for this in Japan, and when it came stateside, it was this amazing game. In terms of the context, just because. Up until that point, gamers hadn't been given a lot of open world games, if any. And this is as open world as we got back then. Obviously, we've gone well more than this, but it's just, you could... I mean, there are multiple screens. Like that, there's statistics. Like you don't have a high score. Like it was this, even Mario at this time was like, that was still the paradigm, Like Metroid would be released later on for the Famicom Disk System, but like this was the first one, and so we as gamers, this had never been, at least on console side, this had never been a thing. And especially on the U.S. side of the things, where we didn't get things like the MSX system or anything like that.
So it seems like right now there's definitely more of these damn spiders. Spiders are the worst.
They're called Tektites.
They're spiders.
That's what we call them. And there's so many names. We call everything like. You're absolutely right. There's a spider. There's a snake. Like you look at the manual, and the funny thing is, Virtual Console lets you look at the manual if you wanted to. It's like Tektites and Octoroks and things like that. You almost have to be a Zelda anthropologist to know half this stuff and. And part of a Hyrulean, zoologist or whatever.
So it seems like on some of these screens, whenever I start over, some of the enemies respawn, but not all of them all the time. So like on this, when I first came through this screen, there was like 5, 6 guys,
right?
But this time there was only one. Although over here, I think it's respawned all of the enemies.
Yeah. It could vary. I mean, it all depends on sort of the spawn rates. I mean, if that's a thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Ugh.
This is like, I'm not even gonna lie, and only because I this has got to be the hardest thing for me to keep so quiet on.
Sure.
Because as part of this experiment, or as part of this sort of idea of it, I have to let you play this game like this. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you where to go. Because I think part of the fun of Zelda, honestly, is sort of just exploring and kind of finding your own way through.
Yeah.
Because that was the fun back then. It was just this was not out there. Like right now we're in a time where it's very common to have games with multiple screens and it oh, here we go again. Just loving that Virtual Console interface. Just ruining the illusion of it being nice.
We can get that on the post.
No, we can't. We're not going to.
And I feel like the B button's not doing much. I was wondering if it was going to be like if that was going to be how you like activate and kind of use the shield, but it doesn't seem to be.
Well, if you notice, for example, as you stop, if you look at Link front on, sword, see? So if you don't use anything, that's when your shield is activated.
Gotcha.
B is I'll spoil.
Is it like it's use item?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's your item slot. So like when you get certain items in the game, like you noticed in that shop, there was a candle you could have purchased. You would have that equipped to B as well, and you could actually like if you hit start right now, this is where you'd get the inventory. So if you see that says use B button for this. So
that Triforce looks rough.
Well, I mean you got it's the Triforce of. Let's see, we have the three Triforces are Triforce of Wisdom, Triforce of Power, and Triforce of Courage. I think you're rebuilding the Triforce of Wisdom, because that's the one, I think. Oh, because ultimately Ganondorf has the Triforce of Power, and you have the Triforce of Courage.
I do know.
I don't know if that's a later series or not thing.
I do know who Ganondorf is.
Yeah. Well, Ganon, or this is actually technically he's already known as Ganon. Ganon. Now I'm getting into like the actual like, because at this
I've played Super Smash Bros.
Well, because at this point in time, all the story I'm talking about hadn't existed yet. Like we like everything that's happened had not happened the way it is. Like where we're at now in the Zelda timeline and the Zelda mythology, this was just Hyrule, and we were just taking out the evil Ganon and rescuing the Princess Zelda. In fact, most people thought that you were playing as Zelda.
Yeah.
Back in there, because it was none of this was ever thought of. This was not a thing that became, this became what we know as now as the Legend of Zelda and things like that. This was started off itself as the Hyrule Fantasy in Japan, and so that became what we know now. And so a lot of this stuff is just, again, from that timeline point of view, is just this was all like mind-blowingly like, what? Multiple screens? There's a map? You mean there's no points? There's like other things going on, like and like you have stayed kind of close to home base there, just sort of walking around. But even as you notice, you're going from here to like a mountain area. You've seen some sea area, like water areas. You've seen a lot of forest with dense kind of stuff going on. So there's a lot of stuff, a variety in this. And back in '87. This was unheard of on the console, and especially in the United States. Because, like, if you think about it, the last console, the last really major console that would come out before the Nintendo in the States. I mean, and again, Japan had other ones, and you could argue the MSX and things like that. But it would have been the Atari, and so a lot of U.S. gamers came from that mindset of the Atari. Of the one-button joystick kind of, earn the high score, and this was different. I mean, the closest the Atari ever got to this was like Adventure, and even that didn't really get a lot. I mean, it got a lot of fame, but not a whole lot as Zelda did. Like, you almost have to just... Like, the reason that a lot of people remember that game in terms of gaming history is the first one with the Easter egg. But this is all new. Like, this was completely unheard of. Yeah, you're definitely not going up. You're staying in the down region. I've been noticing that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to fill out this map. I kind of something deep inside of me wishes there was the kind of fog of war sort of stuff, so that way I could be like, oh yeah, I explored this space.
Yeah, this was before Fog of War.
Yeah.
This was before there was memory for Fog of War.
Yeah, they're like more concerned with, okay, we can fit 5 sprites on screen at a time.
Actually, the technical amount of sprites you can fit on screen is, I think, 8 on the Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if you wonder what a sprite is, I'll tell you in a quick way. Link is a sprite. That Octorok there is a sprite.
The bush is a sprite.
No, the bushes are not sprites. Those are tiles.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting a technical aspect of that. Anything that's moving is a sprite traditionally on a Nintendo. Anything that's not moving is traditionally not a sprite. That does not mean, however, that they can't do anything on the background that can move sometimes. But definitely with this game, and I can't remember what MMC or memory managed controller it had. So I can't go in the technicals of Legend of Zelda. Even on the Famicom Disk System, I couldn't even remember. I couldn't even tell you that off the top of my head. But I do know that the limit is 8, and if you're moving there and there's things kind of going around, it definitely goes like that. Like, you'll notice certain things start blinking a bit. That's a traditional kind of thing of, like, there's too many sprites on the screen, I can only do 8, and they put that in memory.
Yeah, like, I remember hearing that they used the kind of flicker technique to... Like, on one frame show one sprite, on another frame show another sprite, and just alternates. That way it looks kind of like both are on screen.
Yeah, that's the thing, because there is a memory limit of how many sprites can be on screen. And if you think about everything that moves is a sprite, like even those, like that explosion thing, that's 4 different. That's 4 instances of the same sprite. This is where we're getting hyper technical right now, but like it's. Like, even right now, for example, like, I don't know if those fires are technically sprites. Like, I'd have to almost, like, again, look at the program. But I can tell you just at least those 3 Octorocks, or 4 Octorocks, and that fireball was a sprite. God, it's you were just never going to go. Okay, finally, he goes up.
I'm going up a little bit.
Oh, he's exploring more. This is new. We haven't seen this yet in the game.
Nope. It looks a lot like the rest of it, though.
It does. Well, does he continue to go up, or does he stay?
No, I'm gonna die here.
Well, let's go up before you die. For the love of Pete. Oh, a bridge. Oh, a bridge.
The bridge of death. Nope. That's the other bridge of death.
That's the virtual console of death. Of course, we are playing this as a virtual console.
It's really easy.
You're playing the Wii U controller. So you're not playing. Thankfully, I gave you a controller, not like the actual fucking screen, because I think the Wii U screen would have been just way too much cumbersome. And obviously, you would have had a smaller controller. That I do actually have a copy of Zelda. somewhere around here. It's hard to hook up my Nintendo.
Yeah.
And plus, you people at home who have never played Legend of Zelda, maybe you're a kid and who happens to have never, who's getting into it. And I say that because, like, one of my, like, on 8-Bit Life, one of my biggest patrons, like, his daughter, who's, like, 13, is into retro games and things like that. And that just, blows my mind. Like, for her birthday, apparently she wanted a PS2. And that just, like...
It's a good console. Really great loading screen on PS2. Oh, man.
I think the Dreamcast had the better one. Or the GameCube, the doom, vroom. Or the Monkeys, if you got the alternate one. Oh, man, you're just getting rinsed by these Octorocks. They don't take any guff. Oh, there's a tree in there. What's in that? There's entrance.
It's got a face.
What's in that?
It's the Tree of Life. It's the Deku tree? Is that a thing?
That is a thing, but that wouldn't be a thing until Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
What's in
I've heard of that. Oh, a dungeon.
Yes.
I'm afraid to touch this. I'm afraid that
So
fish
this is
gonna
the
come to
mechanic.
life.
So this is the real basis of the game is exploring dungeons and getting the Triforce.
Oh, and look at that slow scroll.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
What do you think those are called?
Probably not bats.
They're called keys.
They're called keys?
Yes.
What?
I don't make this shit up.
So is that like a weird translation thing, or is that what it's called
I honestly
natively?
don't know. There are a couple of weird oddities definitely in the manual. Mainly because when the game came out,
Open up.
It was meant for the Famicom. So, like, one of the things, for example, there's this enemy in the game called Pole's Voice, and in the manual, the U.S. manual, it says it hates loud noises. And in the Famicom, there's actually a microphone and a second controller. You could actually scream into it, and it would actually kill all the Pole's voices on screen. And it doesn't apply to the stateside because there's no microphone on the Nintendo here in the U.S. You got a lot of things. Look, the door closes. Man, that sucks. You can't leave. And you can't get beyond that door down because you don't have a key anymore. Oh, you died. Well,
I like finding those keys. Oh.
see?
Oh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yes. So it starts
It's like a checkpoint kind of thing.
There you go.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. Now you
we're
feel
cooking.
now you're understanding the game. Now you're learning. Now you're playing with power.
Because I was about to be real bummed if I had to start over.
That's what I was going to tell you. I was like, I don't want to tell him. I want him to just to realize it and learn it.
Alright, gonna bypass you guys again. Gonna come over here, even though hopefully if I destroy the bats, it'll open that door again. But if not, hey, we'll find out.
I'm gonna be,
or maybe they'll just drop another key.
I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, you bastard!
Nintendo really isn't in the market of permanently fucking you over like that.
So it's not Dark Souls.
No. Like you can't you honestly.
Yeah.
Unless you're like doing some strange things with memory and like actually trying to exploit the game like that, you will not like prevent yourself from doing something.
That's just good game design.
Yeah. It is, isn't it though?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, now you'll
Step on back.
Oh, and all the enemies are gone, so the door opens again.
Step on back.
Let's try kill those droplets and see what happens.
They're vibrating tears.
Yeah. I forgot what they're called.
Probably something like doors.
Oh, the door doesn't open.
They're called rocks.
That's a shame.
They're called something
That's something.
weird that's not actually what they
My
are.
phone was nearby. I'd go look up the manual. Oh, what's that?
No phones in this feature, Roberto.
What's that? Oh, you died. We'll never learn what that thing was.
I just about walked through that rock. My fingers keep traveling up to the triggers just to like hold the controller.
Yeah, like I said, if we're playing on a real console, I mean a real Nintendo controller, you wouldn't be having that problem. But look what's in that.
Oh, I forgot that I have
yeah.
I have good attacks now.
Oh, look, it's a key. You killed him for a key.
Oh man, this is so much easier with this.
If only you kept full life all the time.
Yeah, right. Oh, no, I've got so many coins now. Like I could probably go buy stuff.
You could, but you know, I mean, you can go back. You can leave the You can leave the.
No way, Jose. We're already deep in this.
There you go. That's the spirit.
Never surrender.
Never surrender.
Zelda says never die.
So I'm trying to think what else came out in '87. I was born 5 years before this game came out. You were born what 3 years later?
5 years.
5 years later.
Apparently, I can't attack when I'm in that doorway.
Yeah.
FYI.
There you go.
Hot tips for all you kids out there.
Oh, we're back here. We have that. There's that thing over there. I wonder what that is.
It can wait. It's probably gonna like be like, here's crazy Link wings, and you can fly through everything.
Oh, it's a map.
Oh, finally.
Look at that.
Perfect.
Man, now you know where everything is.
I was hoping there was gonna be some kind of map out in the
world.
Out in the world,
no.
but
I told you you'd look.
But that's okay. Come on, you dummies! Whoa, are they kangaroos?
They've got boomerangs. God, if only you had a boomerang. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Foreshadowing. No.
Are you frustrated yet?
No.
Honestly,
I have a really high tolerance for.
Well, the thing about what I love about some like really good game design and like of the modern equivalent, like Super Meat Boy or even something like Fez, even like your hyper difficult games like Super Meat Boy and like even things like You Have to Beat the Game. What I always find of a good game design is when the control scheme is very tight, to the point that I never feel like the game is screwing me over. I'm just not good enough. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've always felt with playing some of the classic games, is that when they're done right, I guess it's like any other game. When they're done right, I never felt like in Zelda that, damn it, like why'd the game fuck me over? It's like, no, I just wasn't good enough. I just didn't do it right because it's not the control's fault that I screwed up.
Sure.
Because there are those games where I'm like, there are some very broken Nintendo games. So don't, we can show you the best, Brandt, and then we can show you the worst if you'd like. So there are. Oh, what's that?
It's a cake.
Oh. I'll tell you, it's not a cake.
Oh, it's probably a cake.
Oh, let's maybe.
It's a cake, Roberto.
We had to use our imagination back in the Nintendo still. We weren't as bad as Atari, but it's
it's a compass.
There you go.
There we go.
So that's that blinking dot. That's what a blinking dot
means. That's the objective.
Mm-hmm.
There should be like a hidden wall here. That'd be nice. But I guess this is not Binding of Isaac.
Actually, a lot of Binding of Isaac stuff takes its inspiration from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very similar.
Now you're seeing where the history, now you're getting a history lesson on like indie developers, because this is the stuff that we all like people like that made Binding of Isaac. What's his fucking name? Oh shoot,
who knows?
I forgot. Well, I know he's probably one half of a Team Meat, but I can't remember his name. But these are the games that we, like him and I, like all of us grew up on.
Sure.
So a lot of the indie design you're playing, they take a lot of inspiration from these sort of games. So Binding of Isaac is a procedurally generated Zelda game, for lack of better words. So you've gone left. You saw what's over there. There's an up area. But the boss is over there.
Yeah, there's probably some kind of item up here, so I'll go this way first. I like clearing out
rooms.
spaces.
Makes sense. I do too. I have a tendency to do that, and Zelda definitely in a dungeon forces you to kind of explore a lot and stuff.
Oh, I missed it.
Yep. I only have limited time.
All right, let's do this. Bring it. What you got?
Oh,
kangaroos again.
I forgot what these guys are called. I think they're
probably not
goblins,
kangaroos.
technically.
What?
It might be goblins. I'd have to again look. It's been such a. Oh, bombs.
Bombs, and that's my bee.
Yeah.
My bee.
So now you got a bomb.
Ah.
Uh-oh.
This seems like a place where I could use a bomb. Probably.
Try it.
All right.
What happens? Nope, didn't work. Damn. I don't know.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, what? Do I have unlimited bombs? No, I have 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't have so many.
All right, well, I'm going to say that's dumb.
I mean, if only you could push things.
I mean dumb in a way that's not the way that most people mean dumb.
I know. I mean, it's just like you can't get in there. I mean, there's all these things blocking you out of in the way.
Yep.
If only you could push those things out of the way.
Man, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not maxed out.
Whoa.
Oh.
What are those hands doing there? So they don't do any damage, but they pause things. They stun them. That's something. You don't want grippy hands to get you.
Getting handsy over here. There we go. Whoa.
That doesn't do anything either.
Huh.
So his body's not effective.
Oh, you know what?
How about that?
Video games.
There you go. Bomb his ass. Why not?
All right, come on, shoot.
That worked. But that had a little bit of a scatter effect, so no wonder it worked. Oh, look.
Boom. And
you got
an
another
extra heart container.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking. And a Triforce
Yep,
piece.
piece of the Triforce. So go on. Go up to it. Haven't you learned how to collect things that are glowing?
Just leave the dungeon now.
There you go.
Ring. Ah. Oh, full life. Yeah, boy.
And now you're done with that dungeon, at least I think. I mean, there was some places you couldn't get to in the map. So, I mean, it's up to you if you want to go back in there and see if you can get those again.
You know, I'm the kind of completionist that would do that.
All right. We're back here again. There's something over there. I guess we try bomb it, yeah. I guess bomb the door.
It's my plan, dog.
Didn't work.
And now I'm out of bombs.
Yeah. Can't force the door open.
Never say never, Roberto.
So what looks off about this room?
This block here
All right, well.
is like, hey, look at me. I'm a weird block in the middle of the room that's not
Oh.
fancy.
Oh, you can push some blocks.
Eastmost Peninsula
Is the secret.
is the secret.
Whatever that means.
All
Don't
right,
hit him.
So,
I'm going to tell you flat out right now, don't hit him.
all right.
Because he will attack you. I'm trying. I'm only because like there was like that was only to avoid you the pain of having been hit by a bunch of fireballs and dying right now. That is something I will teach you now. I will spoil that for you because people have like, oh, I'm gonna hit the old man, and it's just like, bitch, I won't take it. If you want to find out, hit him.
I'm real tempted, Roberto.
It's not as bad as it sounds. It's just basically fireballs come out from the fucking
Gotcha.
things.
So
So now we've learned that some blocks can be pushed.
on the east.
Some blocks can be pushed. Where did we see a bunch of blocks blocking
Over
something?
by the stairs.
There you go.
You don't have to hold my hand. I've played a video game before.
There you go.
She's got wrecked, son.
Yeah.
Wrecked. And man, I'm rolling in the rupees.
Yeah. All right. Well, now you've learned, so now you can kind of start trying things out.
probably gonna be one of these corner pieces.
There you go. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, what's that? Looks like a bow.
A classic staple of the genre.
Yes. Too bad you don't have any arrows.
So I'm guessing that's probably up here.
Yeah, but you don't have any arrows, so what use do you have with a bow for now?
It's a good noise.
Yeah, it's a really cool selection of noise.
Doing, doing. I think I've explored that to its fullest extent now.
Yeah. So now you're back in the land of Hyrule.
Oh, and it starts me off at 3 hearts.
Yeah.
Bummer.
It's okay. Well, who knows? Now, look, bombs are now in the world.
Bombs.
Now, like, as you know, this definitely, like, you've already played, like, games that take inspiration from it, like Binding of Isaac, for example, so you know what bombs can do.
Yeah, sure.
Which is kind of weird now, because you're absolutely, like, I think about it now in terms of, like, when we were introduced to things like that, that we would learn the mechanic on our own, but, like, you have a weird advantage of playing a bunch of games that have come out
Inspired by
and developed by people who found joy in that game, and like you've learned all the stuff because of that, but like only because you played the games that like aped it from this game. You know, like you can never ever be of like a child of this era, you know, obviously, and have that kind of thing. But I just thought about that right now. But yeah, you got a whole bunch of rupees. You got bombs. You got a boomerang.
Oh yeah, I need to go spend those.
You gotta spend. Well, let's.
After I find the eastmost peninsula.
Oh, let's see what's there. Some secrets there. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's a fairy.
Nice.
Oh, fairies fill up your entire hearts. For at least most part, at least they give you a shit ton of hearts. That's good to know, right?
Sure. 97, almost to the big 100.
We got about
The hunted.
We got about like 10-15 minutes till we hit the hour. So you've been playing this for a good almost an hour now.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be something you would continue? Like, let's say, for example, that this game had come on your stack of games, and while yes, it's a classic game, and while yes, it's a retro game right now, would this be something after playing it for an hour that you're like, you know what, I think I want to actually continue this game?
Ooh, those are the statues. Probably.
Okay.
Probably, especially if somebody was like, no, like it's worth it, like. Just
and
keep going.
I think ultimately, on a historical context, it is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if only had something that would reach that.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you have. Ooh, we're in a shop with a whole bunch of stuff.
Buy something, will ya?
You could buy a key if you happen to use a key wrongly.
Nah.
Which you can do that, by the way. That's the only way it screws you over in the game is if you get a key from another dungeon and walk into a dungeon, you could then have an extra key. That's the only way the game will screw you over.
Let's see what this is.
It's a candle. So, there you go.
Oh, look, that little bit's all filled in.
There you go.
So I assume this is probably for dark places?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You can only use it once per screen.
Oh, really?
That one. There is an upgrade that you can use it multiple times per screen. But that specific candle, the blue one, you can only use once per screen.
Okay. Oops. Here, buy another candle.
Yeah.
Please.
But
it's now marked up.
But yeah, I mean, on a historical context, yes, I would say definitely play Zelda. I mean, it's one of those games that I think everyone should have to play, if nothing more than to understand where a lot of the games that would have this sort of exploration concept come from, and that what's in there?
Probably a dungeon.
No, it's a gambling hidden area.
Huh.
Yeah, do you want to gamble your money away?
I'll do it once to say I did it, but typically I'm not a big fan of gambling
All
stuff.
right, let's see what happens. Oh, you got 50. Boom. You got fat stacks. You won.
Never
that
coming
game.
back. Oh, except for this time.
Guess I'm going back. Guess I gotta make that Vegas.
I try to get out of the game, but they just keep bringing me back in.
Yeah, basically. So you've learned that not all those things are dungeons.
Yeah.
It's okay. There's a. Oh, what's up here?
Show this to the old woman.
What old woman could he be talking about?
Because Zelda's a young woman.
Right. So he says, show it to the old woman. Have we seen any old women in this game yet?
Is it one of these spiders?
I mean, do you remember seeing any old women in the game?
Is that the old woman? I feel like I remember making reference to a woman at some point, so... Yes?
Let's see. I mean,
because that was the old man in that one.
right. I don't know. We'll find out. Just walk around. All you can do right now.
Who was in here? I think this was another shop with the
Same stuff.
Yeah.
The exact same stuff. In fact, we didn't have much space for.
These shops need to diversify their.
There are a couple of diversified hidden shops and things like that. There's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, like I said, I would recommend everyone play this game if they've never played a Zelda, if nothing more than a historical context of learning where it is a lot of the games that people talk about, like Binding of Isaac and these indie games and a lot of these sort of exploration games, where they as developers and creatives got their inspiration from and sort of what influenced them. Because if you start playing a game like this, you can see, like, you could definitely see a lot of how Isaac got it. It's not only play style, but it's item contents and things like that, and its two-button approach for attack and items. And while sure it made it a bit more modern and had more crazy things. Rocks, deadly rocks that kills you and you can't kill back. But yeah, I'd say definitely everyone should play this game.
Yeah, it's not too shabby.
So, as a final thought, because again, we're pretty much out of the hour time here that we said to play it for. We'll probably cut this down in terms of our actual presentation. Let's say you were, let's say no gaming knowledge of anything, like you're new to games. Do you think Zelda would be overwhelming for you?
Like if this were my very first video game?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, there are definitely a good handful of mechanics at play, but I don't think it like overloads you too much because like it's just sort of here you are and figure it out. I mean, at the very most basics, it's traversal and combat.
But you're definitely learning how to play. I mean, it's funny because I'm seeing you now play, and you're now really understanding. Like you're skipping screens now. You've learned to sort of walk away from things. You've learned now how the game actually works as a game, which is very apparent because like when you're first coming, you're like very timid on things, making sure you kill everything. Now you're like just trying to get through the whole thing, and hey, look, we're back here again.
Get out of my way. There we go.
What do you want to show her?
Hello, lady. I have a message for you.
maybe
Eat boomerang.
maybe you should get the other item selected.
All right, fine. Flame. There we go.
All right.
Oh. Lady, like, if you're gonna be insistent, just give me the medicine if you think I need it that bad. So that probably does, the right one probably does something with health. The left one, I don't know.
They both do health. One does more health.
Just different
mounts,
different stacks.
I'll just there would be later as we go through the Zelda series, because we are going to go through the Zelda series, sir. There will be different other mechanics you'll learn, and there'll be definitely different potions that do different things. As of this one, however, it's just life. And I'll just make that easier for you, just in terms of context. Again, all this stuff. This was all the manual too, so it happens.
Ring. Oh, interesting. So that turns into the second one.
Exactly. So now you have sort of the higher potion and the lesser potion that you can kind of keep together.
Gotcha. So I'm wondering. So the candle seems like it would be. There we go.
Yep. So now you understand that it's why it's one per screen as well, beyond just like lighting things up. And there are darker dungeons you'll end up seeing as you explore the rest of the world.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was noticing so far I haven't seen anything that was actually like super dark, and it didn't seem to like increase the brightness of anything. But that might change later on, and also.
Yeah, because
fire seems like a thing that would hurt somebody.
I mean, because you've just played level 1. You've just played the first dungeon. You've not even remotely touched the third, fourth. And if you have, I think, 8 pieces of the Triforce. Then you have the Ganondorf's dungeon. You have a lot of stuff that you just haven't yet experienced. So it's not even there's more. It's like there is way more, and there's even way more of the map. Assuming that everything's a screen, goes somewhere is something. It's it's hard to talk about it without spoiling it, and so I won't spoil it.
Right.
Oh man.
So I feel like
that's the same.
They're kind of
Keep repeating.
They're kind of pushing stuff out to the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You're not really moving anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like you're lost.
You're lost.
Whatever. There it is.
Some good old-fashioned slowdown.
Hey, look, I told you. There's only so many sprites Nintendo can render for a reason. I wasn't trying to be silly about it. I'm like, nope, that's what happens. Oh, and we're out of time, Brandt.
I like to think that was just like a cool slow motion moment where it was like bullet time.
No, this is before bullet time was. It wouldn't come until 1990, whatever the fuck the Matrix came out. Brandt, we're gonna continue with our Zelda experience with
the Adventures of Link,
which actually surprisingly enough, the second one's called the Legend of Zelda: The Adventures of Link. Where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Gatowag, GATOWAG.
Of course, you could see me and Brandt talk movies and such on our podcast here on CosmicRadio.TV called Cinematography. We do a lot of video content. We talk about movies, TV shows, all that jazz. And of course, you can find me. I'm at Vincent404. There are the chat rooms. If you want to comment on this little video, hit that big old like button or subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you're there or want to kind of check out all of our previous content, you can head on over to CosmicRadio.TV/RetroFuntime. You can follow us on Twitter at RetroFuntime. And of course, if you want to help this podcast in a monetary this show in a monetary sense, help us make more content, help us get more videos, all that jazz, you can head over to patreon.com/RetroFuntime. When Brandt joins us again, if he doesn't join us sooner beforehand, we'll be playing Zelda 2. This has been a CosmicRadio.TV production. For more awesome shows, head on over to our website, CosmicRadio.TV.